What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Skol State of Mind podcast. As you already know, I'm your host, D Woods. And yeah, I've been gone for a while. I've been gone for a minute. I think the last video I did was right after the Vikings playoff loss against the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, it is what it is, but I just thought that I would, be a little decent human being and actually give you guys some insight on this channel going forward. Now, with my hiatus, like I was contemplating, like if I really wanted to do this anymore, like was I even really good at it? And a lot of things, personal things have happened that kind of like got me away from it. And some personal things have happened to bring me back to this. I mean, I don't want to really talk about some of the other personal things that brought me back to it because I just want to show respect to other people's family. But I just kind of felt and had a heart to heart with myself, like, can I really do this? And for the past couple of years, like, what have I been doing that hasn't been successful? And I think the biggest thing with me is like, it's all about consistency. And I know for a fact, like, I haven't been consistent with myself. And I can't look at other channels and basically, compare myself with other channels when I'm not actually putting in the work. That's just, me checking my shit at the door. But going forward, the channel will be changing a little bit. Like if you follow me on social media and you can kind of see like the updated logo. I mean, the logo has like a minor tweak to it. It's no longer, Skol State of Mind, a Vikings podcast. It's now Skol State of Mind, a football podcast. And why I wanted to kind of like change it from just being a Viking podcast is because I want to kind of dive a little bit more into other football teams and trending topics, and not just people see the logo and say, "Oh, that's just a Viking football podcast." Even though the name is Skol State of Mind, and if it's Skol, it's Vikings, but I just wanted to give it a minor tweak. I mean, some of the other things that have changed, you can see my background has changed, the YouTube stuff has changed and stuff like that. But it's going to take some time to kind of like get it to where I really want it to go, and I'm really trying my best to be way more consistent this upcoming season and hold myself accountable to if I'm not succeeding the way I need. So with that being said, let's just dive into it. So within this first video, me coming back to the situation, I wanted to kind of, test the waters a little bit. And this is what I came up with. The top three biggest concerns for the Minnesota Vikings going into training camp, right? Not the season, training camp, because all things could change. You can sign some players, you can trade for the players. These are my top three biggest concerns going into training camp. So let's break it down. Offensive coaching scheme. Now, when I'm saying like offensive coaching scheme, this is what I mean. We know that JJ McCarthy is actually going to be starting his first games in the NFL in the regular season. So I am interested to see what this offensive scheme is going to look like within the first maybe 6 to 8 games. Why I'm saying like 6 to 8 games is because I want to see like, is Kevin O'Connell going to have, training wheels on McCarthy, meaning it's going to be a run heavy offense. And that's something that, Kevin O'Connell has never really done. I mean, but maybe we can see it because he kind of wants to protect his quarterback. And what the Vikings have done during the offseason with solidifying the offensive line, re-signing, a blocking tight end so he can help, with JJ McCarthy down the field with blocking schemes. I mean, what the Minnesota Vikings actually did this offseason to kind of surround JJ McCarthy with the right talent so he can succeed is great, but it's still yet to be seen of what's going to really happen during, the NFL season. This is how I look at it. Like, I think we're going to see some, peaks and valleys, ups and downs, however the terminology you want to use. but I think it's going to be great for McCarthy going forward because I really want to see how he's going to rebound if things are not going the right way. How is he going to rebound after interception or after a tough loss, after a close loss? Like that's just something I want to see, and we can't really see that and see what that's actually really going to be in training camp or the preseason. So like I can't wait. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like, and I'm really like making my projection on the first 6 to 8 weeks because that's what I think is going to be like the most up and down. I think after that, I think we're going to kind of get, steady to McCarthy. So that's that topic. Now, this is something that a lot of people are talking about, me too. And this isn't my biggest concern. It's my second to biggest concern, but it's like this though, right? Depth at defensive back. And when I'm saying defensive back, I'm not meaning just the corners. I'm talking about the safeties too. The whole defensive back room is a concern for me because, look at what you lost in the offseason. I mean, we do know that Stephon Gilmore and Stat Griffin, were a little long in the tooth, but they did play solid in stretches and, they kind of got exposed with their age and their athleticism at the end of the season. So those two corners are no longer on the roster. Now, look at the safeties. You've lost, Cam Bynum to the Colts. He wasn't like an all-time all-pro player, but he was a solid player. So you had to replace those three players in your defensive back room. Now, why this is a big concern with me, let's just start with the safeties. Now, Harrison Smith has his Hall of Fame career, and he hasn't pretty much fell off a cliff yet. And the way he plays in, Brian Flores' scheme is kind of great to all his strengths. And I'm not saying that he's going to fall off a cliff now, but you just don't know. But I'm more concerned about the guys behind him. I'm not big on Theo Jackson. I'm not. I don't know why some people are. I don't know what they see because we haven't seen him out there. Like we haven't. And for him just to for people just to be like, oh, Theo Jackson just gonna hit the ground running and we're not missing nothing with Cam Bynum. We don't know that yet. That's why it's a concern. And the other concern too is Josh Metellus. Josh Metellus, excuse me. Josh Metellus is a great player. He's a great player and does a lot of things. He's like a jack of all trades, right? And that's when he's doing like his most damage, when he's able to run around and be in all these different positions. But when he has to play like one position, like linebacker, I was kind of pissed last year because I felt like he shouldn't be playing linebacker, but I understood it because hey, interchangeable pieces, whatever. I didn't like it. But I want to keep Josh Metellus in that role with being able to play all these positions. I don't want to see him as a deep safety or the box safety. I don't want to see that. And if Theo Jackson has to step into the cam role, Josh Metellus can stay there. But we don't know what those three safety tandems are going to look like. That's why it's concerned. And there's not a lot of other guys, on the roster that we know can step up and actually, take the reins. So that's the safeties. Now with the corners. Now, Isaiah Rodgers, they're saying he's going to be the starter on the outside. Mekhi Blackman, he's coming off an injury. And, Brian Murphy Jr., he's basically, re-signed with the Vikings and he's going to be here for a while. After that, who do we got? Like, we got the White McGlovern. Who else we got? Like, I have to really look at it again because it's like, I don't see anybody of note outside of those four guys. Jeff Okudah, I'm not even sure if this guy makes it in camp. Like, he hasn't been great. He's been nothing but a bust. So I'm not gonna go in here and be like, yeah, Jeff Okudah is going to automatically come to the Vikings and he's going to be great. Like, I can't say that. I just want to be fair. So I don't know what they can do looking forward to actually make this, cornerback room, a solid room. So that's how I feel about that. But this is the big one for me. This is the number one overall concern, overall health. Now, let's just start with the offensive line when I'm talking about overall health. Christian Derail is coming back off of an ACL, MCL injury that he missed the rest of the season. All right. Will Fries, broken tibia, missed the season. Ryan Kelly, I think he only played like 10 games last year. Brian O'Neill, kind of up in age. So that's just the offensive line. Now, when we get into, guys that were signed in the offseason, Hargreaves, Jonathan Allen, like these guys have injury concerns too. I mean, I understand that injuries are a part of football and you can't take them out. This ain't Madden where everybody play healthy, but that's going to be a big concern with me. Like that's the number one, like outside of the defensive back room and, coaching strategy for the first 8 games, like health is a really, really big concern because it's like they're banking on all these guys to be healthy, during the whole season. I know every team is, but we just got to be a little bit honest though. Like I hope Christian Derail is able to, come back in training camp and play the first week. I hope that, but we don't know. I mean, I hope Will Fries is just a fluke injury for the broken leg and he doesn't miss any time because we're banking on him to be, a staple on that offensive line. Ryan Kelly, he's up in age, he's 32, neck injuries, knee injuries. I mean, it's just some things that's like inevitable, in the NFL. And I will be lying to myself if I basically said, like, oh, yeah, the Vikings should go in the season and finish the season 100% healthy. Like, it might not happen. So it might be, next guy up mentality. And that's something that we all need to, look at. Like, overall health is a concern. Like, the Vikings spent a lot of money this offseason. And some of that money was spent on players that have injury concerns. So maybe with the Vikings staff and management, they can nurse these players back, and we won't suffer no big injuries. But overall health is a big concern. Now, going forward, with this channel, right? I'm gonna start dropping videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm probably gonna sprinkle in, some football stuff, outside of the Vikings, probably like on Saturday, probably start like the, Saturday scrimmage thing back up again. And I do have, a couple of fantasy fantasy drafts that I'm probably gonna live stream too. And I'm just working my way back, trying to be more consistent. I know this video is probably some topics that people already been talked about already, but I just wanted to kind of like get my feet wet. And if you watching this video and you tuning in, thank you for rocking with me. Like I, I know my limitations. I'm on my way back. It's a process, man. It's like I'm just coming back and actually getting on StreamYard and figuring out all the updates and changing this, changing that. So it's gonna be a process, and I welcome you guys to come and be on this journey with me. And you guys already know like how I ended. Skol.